Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Café CSR. We're back in London and this week we're in conversation with Javed Khan. Javed, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
And good to see you again.
Yeah, great.
So you're this CEO of this amazing charity that does great stuff for children. But there's a story behind how you came to be here. Was there something that inspired you to, I want to work in charity? Because I know your background's very different. Was there anything that kind of was a light bulb moment?
My story is quite a simple one, actually.
Okay.
You know, there's certainly no silver spoons to start with. I mean, my own family emigrated from Kashmir, no education at any stage of their life, and you know, kind of a tough but loving existence in the inner cities of the UK. But one of the lasting memories I got of my childhood is the importance of love from your family, and the fact that that love can take you through any kind of difficulty you've got. You don't need material possessions, you know, you don't need the house, the car, and all that usual kind of razzmatazz that people look for if you've got the love. And when I think about the work that I'm now doing in this fantastic children's charity, this is what we do. We put love back into the lives of those children.
So everything that you've learned throughout your life is utilised in the day-to-day stuff that you do right now?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm driven by it.
Okay.
That, firstly, acceptance of circumstances. You know, that you don't need material possessions. You don't need the latest PSP or the smartphone or 3 smartphones in some cases. You know, what you need is some basic fundamental things in life. Love, care and affection. You need guidance, you need support. And that's what we try and do.
And I think that's what every parent tries to do. They try and give their kids those things. So it's really...
well, no, I'm not sure every parent does, actually.
Well,
because we support a lot of parents as well who have been really poorly parented themselves.
Really? Right.
And they don't know where to begin.
And that seems surprising in today's day and age where we're all about doing the right thing, that something like that still exists.
Yeah, and this is in the United Kingdom, 6th largest superpower in the world. And we support hundreds of thousands of people in those circumstances, not just a few.
Well, was there one thing that, growing up as a child, that you thought, where you wanted to do something good, or is there a memory that you have of your early days? Yeah,
so as I said, my parents didn't have any education, so they couldn't read or write in any language. And one of my lasting memories is having to read every piece of documentation for them.
Right.
So every letter that came, whether it was a doctor's kind of appointment or something more formal, or actually reading the letters that used to come back from Pakistan, from their close relatives, because my parents, they gave me many gifts, but one of the things they did was force me and my siblings to read and write Urdu.
Right.
And after school, literally dragging us after school to these private lessons.
And did that create, you reading those letters or those documents, did that create a stronger bond between you and your parents?
It's a massive connection, actually, not just with the parents, but with the extended family as well.
Right.
Because we'd never been to Pakistan. I mean, first time I went, I was age 11, and then I went when I was 27. So, hardly any connection. We just couldn't afford it, for anything else.
Perceptions.
But we were in touch with Pakistan through the Urdu connection of reading the letters and writing the letters for our parents. So we knew our Chacha, Taya, Mama, all that kind of stuff was in Pakistan. We didn't know who they were, but we knew of them. And that connection has stayed with me, and it's deeply inside my DNA, I think. And has since, in my adult life, created a bond between me and my ancestral heritage because of that.
Right. And this notion of, obviously, we're familiar, Barnardos is a huge charity, does great work, and you're doing great work. Were you always driven to do things for improving the lives of children, or did this just kind of come through it? Because I know your background, others may not.
Yeah. So I started life as a teacher, really a maths teacher. It was the only subject.
Of all the things.
Yeah, it was the only thing I could do. I was useless at everything else, and even that I wasn't very good at. But I actually fell into teaching one way or another and loved it. I mean, I really, really enjoyed teaching. I did it for 15 years.
Right.
And then, Kismet kind of takes over. And so I'm a great believer in destiny, really, not in career plans and so on. I think it's all flawed.
Some advice for some...
Yeah. Don't put too much effort into your career plans. Work really, really hard at the opportunities that you're given. And I mean 110% every single day, not just getting by. And then leave tomorrow to the Almighty. that will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to me, really. So I was a standard maths teacher, and now I'm running the largest children's charity in the UK, 8,500 staff under me, 22,000 volunteers. It's a big operation.
And changing lives really at every level.
Yeah, and that's where the real privilege comes, actually. This is blessed work. We talk about sadaqah, that kind of thing, that concept of giving. There's no greater modern day kind of, version of sadaqah, I believe, in the work that I'm now doing.
Right.
And I feel blessed, really, to be given this chance to put the love back into children's lives, to give them hope, help them cope from their circumstances.
It seems like it's a huge responsibility as well. You say you're blessed, and I'm sure your parents will be proud. But are there moments where you get emotional in the work that you do? Because it can't be easy to see what's going on in the world. You have the burden of this responsibility, wanting to change the lives of everyone you meet. Do you sometimes think it's a bit too much?
One of the things I do in the way I lead Barnardos, because there's thousands of really talented people who do the real work.
Of course,
but I make a point of regularly going out and visiting our services. Every 2 or 3 weeks I'm out.
So you meet everyone that's involved.
And I see the work.
Yeah.
I see the children, I see the abject poverty that exists in their families and their communities. I meet their parents, talk to our staff. And I would wager that if you came with me and visited one of those services, you wouldn't come out without a tear in your eye.
Yeah.
That's how it gets me every single time.
But that's also a motivator, isn't it?
It's a great motivator. It re-energizes me, it absolutely focuses me on why I do what I do. It's that adrenaline boost that I need that makes it all fit into place. And makes me so grateful for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me and others like me with, that our children are going through those experiences.
And would you do anything else if you were able to? I know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, well, I didn't need any persuasion to come to Barnardos. Because if you're a person of values-driven, high integrity, but ideas of how to not just do a good job, but how to change the world, literally change the world. Because if you can impact the life of one child, or 10 children, or 1,000, or in our case, 272,000 children, in the last 12 months, you literally can change the world. So I can't think at this stage in time, is there anything more powerful that I might ever dream of doing? This is the pinnacle of my career now. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got in store for me tomorrow, I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. This notion of doing good, I can see from you just, from your body language and the way you're talking, and we've known each other for some time, you feel you're in a position to be making some significant impact in people's lives, not just the children that Barnardos supports, those that want to get involved. And there are many people that, part of our audience, youngsters, volunteers, even seniors as well, that want to do good. Do you think doing good now makes business sense? Or is it all just a fad? We're just on this wave of kuch acha karna chahiye, feel good about ourselves. Or is there really some value for businesses to be looking at broader than CSR? Doing good makes sense.
Yeah, the phrase "doing good" is a really interesting one. I'm glad you're focusing on that, because it means different things to different people.
Of course.
And I'm ever the optimist when it comes to what kind of impact can we have on society. And I think the charities do their work, of course, and the public sector does its work, but the private sector, the businesses, the profit sector, as it were, I'm actually seeing, and I'm really excited and energized by this, I'm seeing more and more people using this kind of language. And it's not the traditional CSR, put aside 1% of your profits and do something good because it helps with your taxes and all of that kind of. I think it's more than that now. I think people are waking up and realizing that we all have a responsibility, and it isn't just about the money you give to the destitute child or the family in our case. It's the work you're doing with your own staff as well, and the values you're instilling in them to do good over, above, and beyond the day job. And I see this journey growing, this number of people who are committed to this growing, not just in this country, I think it's worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you had some thoughts to share with people who are interested in doing good and have often thought about putting their hand in their pocket when they see the advert on TV, or when it's children need time, or even during Ramadan, is there something you could kind of give as terms of guidance or support that could convert that thought into real action?
So I'd say two things. One, that no contribution of support, whatever that support might be, is too small.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I hear it all the time. People say, "Oh, well, you know, my 50 pence, what difference is that going to make?"
Yeah.
Don't fall into that. Right? Every penny counts, and it has a multiplier effect because you don't know how many other people are giving that 50p as well. And before you know it, you know, you have a massive impact. The second thing I'd say, and this is because I'm a mathematician by training. You know, there's something called chaos theory in mathematics. Right? Chaos theory is overcomplicated sometimes. There's a very simple way of explaining it, and that is about how very small acts can have massive impact. So if there were enough butterflies flapping their wings in the Amazon forest right now, you know, it would create a storm here in London. So you never know, you as an individual, what difference you can make, because there'll be others that stand with you and stand apart from you, but doing the same thing. And if you really believe that you want to do something for society, you want society to change because you can see the problems, your individual contribution and those from others around you that you can persuade can have a mammoth effect. The history of the world tells us this, doesn't it? You know, most of the greatest kind of changes that have taken place come from movements.
Is there something that you could possibly give in terms of, you know, sort of closing remarks, as it were, words of inspiration to those people that are inspired to do good, have made the few small steps on this journey, have rallied with other people as well, whether it's been on a charity fundraiser event or dipped their hand in their pockets, as it were? Are there any thoughts you could share about how they could really be more involved, as it were? We all have demands on our time in this day and age, not just because of work pressures and family pressures, because of technology also as well. How can we make it easier for people who really want to do good, just to take that first step?
I think there's a number of things I'd say. Firstly, the individual contribution, don't stop it. Right? It matters, it counts. You may not always see the outcome in terms of how the world is going to change, but I can tell you it will make a difference. Secondly, don't just do it quietly. Tell others as well. Spread the magic that you've
So we have this challenge then in certain communities, and you know where I'm leading with this, that one hand shouldn't know what the other hand's doing. So that's going quite against the grain in terms of cultural.
But it depends what your intentions are. You know,
of course.
Nia, we talk about Nia. You know, if it's about self-promotion and you're trying to celebrate your doing good, then that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how do you encourage others to do good. If you've stumbled across something that is making a difference and your 50p mattered, tell others about it. And if you're in a business, you know, and you're dealing in millions and billions and so on, imagine the difference it can make. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell the other CEOs that you have the gupshup with, you know, that you're sitting around eating the kebabs and so on. Talk about the difference that you're making to society. And before you know it, it will transform not just the place you live in, the country and the world. And I genuinely believe that. You know, this isn't just kind of pie in the sky stuff. I believe you can transform societies through that. And individual acts of doing good, spreading the right way, you know, using the technology, the kind of stuff that you're developing, spreading it through messaging like this, and individual kind of contributions, and saying your dua.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, as a Muslim, I believe in it. Let's spread the message far and wide. There are desperate people out there that need help. And it's people like us that have a duty, and there are millions of others out there that we need to speak to as well.
Javed, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to you. Thank you for your insights. We'll be inviting you back again, because I think this is just part one of where we can go. We'll be back again soon with some more gupshup and coffee when we're in Karachi. See you soon.